is our new Victorian plate in collaboration with our friend Suzie at Nail Career Education. Gorgeous Victorian themed. Try and get a picture of this without getting my camera in it. Pretty hard when you're working with a mirror. There we go. Really beautiful, delicate images. Suzie absolutely loves the Victorian era, so it only made sense to do this plate with her. Okay, let's do some stamping with it. Now, something else that we have that's new, that's pretty exciting, is we have matching stamping polish with our KoKo and Claire colors. So we've done a collection, we've done a couple collections actually, where our stamping polish perfectly matches our gel polish. First time this has ever been done in the industry, and we're really excited about it. As a nail technician, I always wanted to be able to do perfectly matching manis, and I didn't have stamping polish that perfectly matched any of my gel polishes. I mean, every once in a while you'd run into something that worked really well together, but these are identical matches, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play with these. So, and I'm going to start with a little bit of a backdrop and my vintage julep, which is number 83. Push down on that plate. Look how much bounce that has. Push down, make sure it's flat, give a nice scrape, and then lightly roll over your image to lift up all those details. So now we're going to use the vintage linen, number 84. That's going to be sort of the backdrop of our little bird cage, and it does match the base color that we used. We're using antique lustre here, number 60. That's going to be our details. Make sure these guys are really well mixed. If you're having problems stamping along and suddenly things stop stamping properly, your polishes could need mixing, or they could be getting thick. So because we have so much pigment in these stamping polishes, they can thicken over time. So just use a normal polish thinner. Give them a couple of drops, mix it up, and that should take care of your problem. That one done. Let's go on to our pinky, where I've planned basically the same thing, but in the opposite color. So we're just going to do this guy with a little bit of our vintage coral, number 81. Different bird cage, this guy right here. All right, and we're going to use the same backdrop. Make sure that well's nice and full there. Now we'll push down, scrape, roll quick. Oh, we got away with it. That's great. Okay, Okay, I'm going to use the side of that scraper, take away that extra image. Okay, now this guy I'm going to go kind of good. So those are kind of two of the more detailed ones that we're doing. For this one in the center here, I have planned the backdrop using a couple of flowers here and some swirls. So let's go ahead and do that one next. And I'm going to use the antique or vintage julep rather. Come and do these two flowers that go with, and you can place them both at the same time. Now I think I want to put our little inkwell here. Be careful not to touch the nails I've done with my polish remover. That would be devastating. Now, having said that, you could go, as you finish a nail, you could top coat with our tack-free top coat or the matte tack-free top coat, just to make sure that you don't smudge those things that you've done and spent all that time creating. I'm going to live on the wild side though and do that after. Okay, so here's our little inkwell. I'm going to use the antique Lustre again, and we'll do these guys separately. We'll put the little inkwell down first and then we'll do the quill. Push down, roll over quick. Oh, a little bit of extra there. I didn't scrape quite well enough, so let's do that guy again. Yeah, we didn't want all those little scratch lines on there. Actually, I grabbed a scraper that I haven't primed yet, so that explains why we got all those scratch lines. When I have a new scraper, I like to take a block buffer and just prime those edges. Doesn't need much. When we manufacture these, they're punched, so they can have a little bit of a rough edge, and that just smooths everything out. So let's try that again. It's all cleaned up, ready to go. Back with our antique Lustre. And then we're going to come with the quill and lay it over top. So same thing, our antique Lustre. I'm going to start here with these guys. Now I'm going to pull all the way down, and with these I'm then going to scrape the opposite direction just to make sure we don't have any voids, but push down, scrape away, get in there quick, and lift those up. Perfect. Okay, so that guy I'm going to put over top of our green one. And we're just going to go right kind of down the center, press and hold. Lift up slowly, leave all that behind. And go all the way down the length of the image. Clean that off a little bit. Press down, scrape away, move quick. There, press down. And if I didn't get quite to the top with that, that's okay, because I've got a little wee bit left right here that I can come back up here and fill in with. I don't know that I really need to, but that's another nice thing about a clear stamper. If you need to add something in somewhere, you can see to do that. All right. That guy's done. That's all we're going to do on that one. Same as this over here. Now let's do basically the same thing on this guy. I love this one, so let's use it again. And we're going to go the length. And then do the same thing. We'll scrape up. Move quick. And lift up that whole image. I'm not going to worry about the stuff that's on the edges because it's not going to make it onto the nail. I try and touch them as little as possible with my fingers, just because your fingers have oils on them. You come to do that next layer and it could affect it actually transferring and sticking. Just be aware of stuff like that when you're stamping. Okay, so bird is next. Let's pull this guy down a little bit so that we're more in the center of the frame here to do this gorgeous little bird. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use my antique linen as the backdrop on this guy right here. Perfect. All right, now I'm just going to basically use, where's my little teeny tiny bird? That guy right there. Just going to use him as kind of a shadow. Okay, now I'm going to flood the top down, and then I'm going to scrape against opposite way that I put that polish on. There, look at that. Teeny tiny little void in his tail, but we're not going to worry about that. His tail may not even show here. A little bit. There we go. And drop that guy right in there. And there you have it. A really pretty, really delicate, vintage Victorian mani. So, just gonna start that on one side, roll it a little bit, and then just pull off all that. Now I usually come in when I've left it that long with little tweezers if I need to get that stuff right out of the well. I am going to put on our KoKo and Claire matte top coat, and then I'm going to cure it. I can clean up my cuticles and with a little bit of polish remover, and then we can take some final pictures. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching today. Please make sure you subscribe. Click that little bell button if you want to be reminded when we post. Share if you will, and we will really look forward to seeing you in our next video.